Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're reading Morte Arthur. I don't want to, but I want these notes just as much as you do, so here we are. Just to be clear, this is just over the last chapter, which is confusingly also called Morte Arthur. But it's all 5 books of the last book, so like, I don't know, you get it. So if it's not evident based off my voice, I'm kind of sick a little bit, and here's hoping it's just like a cold, what am I trying to say? A sore throat and not like laryngitis, because I've had that before and it's not fun. But I've got my honey lemon water right here, a nice refreshing treat, and let's just get right into it. Now, this chapter is kind of a doozy. Not to like freak you out or anything, but it's probably one of the most interesting ones. Now, I really liked the Gareth one where he like fought all the full, like the colorful knights or whatever, but like some people didn't like it very much. I get it. We all have our tastes. But anyways, without further ado, let's get started with Morte Arthur. Okay, so part 1 is called Slander and Strife. Now, Sir Gawain and Sir Modred are Gawain's brothers. Modred is Arthur's son by Margwise, which is Lot's wife. I know that's kind of confusing. There's lots of names in this book, and they don't, like, it kind of seems like Sir Thomas Mallard kind of keyboard smashed, even though he was writing this in jail, but it's whatever. So Gawain and Modred are basically, well, Gawain is Gawain's brother. Modred is a bastard. And needless to say, he's a little bit mad about that. But anyways, the two of them call out the fact that Lancelot and Guinevere are awfully close, which we know from previous chapters. That's kind of an understatement. Without going further anymore, if you see me doing this is a direct quote just to kind of implement real quotes, because parenthetical citation isn't really appropriate at a time like this. But anyways, Gawain and Modred threatened to tell Arthur, which would, as Gawain puts it, disrupt the whole court. Also, they owe a lot to Godel Lance. Arthur knew of their disloyalty because Merlin foretold it a long time ago, but he loved them both and he never wished to prove it. That's another quote. Modred and Gawain then enlist the help of 12 Round Table knights, either their relations or sympathizers. So then Lancelot spoke with Bors before meeting with Guinevere that night. Oh, you're going to hear me refer to Lancelot as Lancey or Lance or El. That's just because his name is kind of annoying. Same with Guinevere. I just call her good old Gwyn. Bors tells him not to fear Gawain and Modred. But that disaster must befall you and the queen and all of this court. Wow. We love disaster. That sounds like a bucket of fun. Lancey goes to Gwyn, and it isn't known whether they slept together. That's literally said. It's not known. Who cares? Aggie and Modred are big boy bad guys. They're unarmed except for Lancey's sword. Uh-oh, conflict. Then, like real lovers do, they're all like, no, I'll die for you. No, I'll die for you. No, I'll die for you. Okay, whatever. Get over yourselves. Then Lancey cracks open the door, letting That's certainly wrong, but his name's only in there once, so Collegrevance he is. Oh, that was my dog. Sorry about that. So he lets Collegrevance, he lets him in like one at a time, and Collegrevance comes in, and he kills him and snatches his armor, which is really cool on Lancey's part. We love Lance. The baddies on the other side are like, "Arg, we'll take you dead or alive. That wasn't cool. You killed Colgate, whatever his name is." And Lancey's like, "Bet." Then he kills every one of the 13 knights except for Modred. Even though they said 12 before, but again, this dude wrote it in jail, so like who can blame him? He then goes outside to see all his buddies suited up for war. They say, "We love you and honor you. You can rely on us for support." That's a specific quote, by the way. Aw, that's so cute. Then Bors goes out to find their allies. He also finds another 120 who swore allegiance to Lancelot, which is very handy. I wish I could just pull out 120 subscribers. Anyways, at dawn, they prepare for battle. Lance fears he and Guinevere will be tried for treason. Yeah, you cheated on the king's wife. I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. Then Sir Lancelot says, if the queen is to be burned at the stake tomorrow, what then? And his helpers are like, save her, save her. Wow, they're brave. Bors, who's Lancelot's cousin, I'm pretty sure, Bors advised Lancelot to hold Queen Guinevere at the Joyous Guard, which I'm pretty sure is Lancelot's castle, but It's never explicitly said. That's just what SparkNotes said, and SparkNotes is pretty sure of themselves. Modred, meanwhile, had escaped, mortally wounded, and he went to tell Arthur. What a jerk. Arthur recognizes this as the end of the round table. He's sad that he has to, murder his wife and his best friend, but, that's just how it is. He instructs Gawain to suit up and lead Gwyn to the pyre for burning. His brothers, Gareth and Gareth, escort her. That's, Gawain, Gareth, and Gareth. That's certainly not a mouthful at all. Lancelot and his crew were hiding, and just as the queen walked to the fire, he shouted the word of command. Many of the guards were killed, including Gareth and Gareth, which sucks. Gareth was the G. His story is my favorite. Lancelot and friends returned the queen to the Joyous Guard. Chapter 2. The Vengeance of Sir Gawain. That's so pretentious. Arthur is super sad. Not only did Lancey steal his homegirl, but his... Sorry, that was written in the script. I had to say it. Not only did Lancey steal his homegirl, but his kingdom was split in two. He tells his remaining allies not to tell Gawain that his bros are dead because he would fly off the handle. Naturally, somebody told him and he flies off the handle. What would you expect? For the love of the Holy Virgin, no! Who killed them? Sir Lancelot. No! All my joy has gone! No, all my joy has gone. I'm gonna say that the next time I get a bad grade in a test. My teacher's gonna be like, actually, here's a 20, and I'm gonna be like, no, all my joy has gone. And then they're gonna admit me to a penitentiary. All my joy has gone, said Sir Gawain, and then he fainted, naturally. Then he asks to see the bodies of his brothers, and he's denied by King Arthur because, that would make him really sad. But then he has the good idea of attacking Lancelot because, to quote him, our armies are great enough to take the Joyous Guard. That's some strong talking, but okay. They then fight for 15 weeks. That's just glossed over. I think I've been in school for 15 weeks, and a lot has happened, and I feel like something should be elaborated here, but hey, I'm not Sir Thomas Malory. But anyways, they fight for 15 weeks. They didn't want to, fight because there was still love between King Arthur and Lancelot, which is just the sweetest thing. But anyways, Lancelot would not bear arms against his own king, which is cool, but also, you're at war. Get over yourselves. Whatever. Then Arthur's like, you already killed, all my knights and snatched my queen. Then Lancelot's like, sorry, bro. Then Arthur's like, bro, Then Gawain's like, shut up already. You shall live or die as he pleases. Ella's like, bro, I didn't mean to kill your bros, bro. Then Sir Thomas Malory, the real G, straight up says, yeah, King Arthur forgave Lancelot and Guinevere, but Gawain would have none of it. Lol. It's pretty evident here. I'm kind of % sure that Lancelot and Arthur are if you know what I'm saying. But hey, that's just me. Then they battle. Surprise. Many are oofed. You like that sound effect? Anyways, many are killed on both sides. Lancey almost kills the king, but then he's like, nah, we're bros. And then he said, I have given the order that you and Sir Gawain are to be spared. Wow, what a nice guy. It's almost as if we can forgive him for killing so many people before. Then, the battle soon grew heated, and many were wounded or killed on both sides, including Bors, who was deeply wounded. Lancelot then fights half-heartedly because his cousin was wounded. Then, it is said that for while Sir Gawain lives, this quarrel must proceed to the bitter end, which is just kind of sad that Gawain, just can't give it up, but whatever. Nevertheless, Lancey was still winning, and the king withdrew. Then there's this nonsense about a bull, which, based off my extensive dictionary searching, I found to mean a papal decree, which was from the Roman Pope. I don't know why they called it a bull. I'm talking about a horn bull, whatever. They were really pretentious back then. In this bull, Lancelot agrees to return Queen G as long as she and him stay safe for the delivering part, and then after that he'll be banished or whatever. Then there's this huge fancy procession to deliver her. It's a paragraph, which is more than is explained for half the people that die, but there's this huge long paragraph about there was white cloven horses and things and olive branches, which we all know are native to England and show up in many stories. The king, again, is basically over this whole thing, but Gawain is butthurt, and he says he can't forgive Lancelot for killing his brothers. And he's all like, all the Pope said to do was allow you to deliver the queen, and then after this, post up because we're finna fight. Let's go. Sorry. Anyways, Lancey is banished, and everyone cries except for Gawain because he's just like that, you know? Anyways, chapter 3, the siege of Benwick. So Lancelot has dominion over France. Then, to quote King Arthur, after appointing Sir Modred ruler in his absence, sailed to France, and on the advice of Sir Gawain, started laying waste to all before him. So that's neat. He just lays waste. Classic. We've all been there. But also, I would like to point out the fact that he puts his son, Modred, who tried to kill him, who was planning on killing him, in charge. I mean, you could argue that as far as Arthur knows, Modred's on his side because all he told him was that Lancey's not on his side. But he already knew that Lancey wasn't on his side. So, like, what the heck, brother? What's going on? Anyways, let's continue. Lancelot has dominion... Oh, I already said that. Anyways, Lancelot sends a messenger to Arthur, which it's to sue for peace, because he says something along the lines of, it's always better to be peaceful than to be at war. Coming from, like, the most dangerous knight in the land that kills everyone. Okay, I'm not salty about it. I'm just pointing it out. It's a little bit of an inconsistency. Mr. Sir Thomas Mallory. Gawain, who is really just problematic, says, if we retreat now, we will simply become the laughingstock of the land. Which, he's not wrong. You know, I'm going to give him that. King Arthur lays siege to the city of Benwick. That's Lancey Town, by the way. And every day for 6 months, Gawain fights people. He, like, jousts them, which, you know, they're galloping on horses. Pretend my hands are horses. They gallop, and then they take their jousting sticks, and then they go, oh, hi, Mom.
Well, hi there. What are you working on, Missy?
I'm talking about Morte Arthur. I'll be back in a minute. Yes, so that was my mom, but now we're back at it. So like I said, 2 horses, they do this, sometimes they miss, and then it's, oh no, they lose, but then sometimes they collide and then they explode. I learned that last year in Spanish, which now that I think about it has nothing to do with Spanish, but anyways, for 6 months, Gawain fights people like that, and then finally he's like, you know what, let's just fight Lancelot. So Lancelot and Gawain fight. They fight to the death with interference from no one. That's a quote. Then for no reason, it is revealed that Gawain actually has like this super cool big boy enchantment that allows him to increase his strength, which in my opinion is kind of OP, but like, whatever. Anyways, Lancey knocks him over, as one does. Then about 3 weeks later, they fight again. Same thing happens. Then to finish off with a bang, Gawain's all like, because he keeps challenging Lancelot, and Lancelot's like, you're an idiot. You're on your deathbed. I'm not going to fight you. And then Gawain says, until one of us is dead, I shall never give in. Which is just, dang, metal, you know? Anyways, chapter 4, the Day of Destiny. Sir Modred, who had been in charge of Britain, you might remember, convinces everyone that Arthur is dead. Then he's elected king. Then he tries to marry Guinevere, his father's wife. Okay. Then he goes with an army of 100,000 to Dover to fight his dad, Arthur. Which, parents, you know? They fight on the harbor. Gawain is mortally wounded because, let's be real, pettiness gets you nowhere. He dies in Arthur's arms, but not before leaving Lancey a cutesy letter. He basically says, Modred's here for revenge. It's all your fault, but love you. And then he dies. Or as they say back then, he gives up his ghost, which I think is just really sweet. Then Arthur tries to kill Modred. Hundreds volunteer to help him, so they go on this big quest. He has a wacky dream about Lancey killing Modred. Arthur tries to make peace, so they're going to this place and they're going to shake hands and be like, yes, we are cool now. But naturally, both suspect the other of treason, and they're going to kill each other. Treachery, whatever.
Treason. Hey guys, editing Clara here. Sorry about that last clip, but I really wouldn't put it in, except it didn't have audio, so I just wasted over it. You're welcome.
As who could imagine they end up fighting? Haha. Arthur is mortally wounded, and he asks his brother Bedivere, who, this is the first time we've seen him, and it's like, they love each other, they're brothers. Bedivere, yes, like, okay, whatever. He asks his brother Bedivere to return Excalibur to the lake, and Bedivere fails to do this 2 times, but finally checks it in. He says he saw the Lady of the Lakes waving. So they're just basically like, hi, we're in the water, as one does. Then, at Arthur's request, he is carried down to a barge on the waters, and Arthur is sent off. We can only presume that he died. In fact, we know he dies because the next day we hear about the lake ladies who apparently carried him up to this hermitage and buried him. Inscribed on his tomb is the infamous saying, "Here lies Arthur, the once and future king," which is just such a cool quote. I'm going to attempt to say it in Latin just for the sake of comedy. Hic aesit Arthurus rex quantum rexque futres. Yes, that's right. I'm a native speaker. After this is a very long, well, it's not long, it's like 2 pages, but it's really boring, and it's got a super long title, and I didn't even write it down. The dolorous deaths and departing out of this world of Sir Lancelot and Queen Guinevere, which is basically, they die. The chapter is really boring, so here's the rundown. Guinevere becomes a nun, which is classic, and Lancey finds her at the abbey. He apologizes, but he says he can't marry her because he's, their love is the cause of death, the cause of the death of Arthur and all the knights, which he's absolutely right. We shouldn't be rooting for him. Then they die. Gwyn dies first. She just, and then Lancey asks to be buried at Joyous Gard, like Guinevere was, and then he too dies. So, okay. Then the book ends. So sweet, so good. Thomas Mallory ends by saying there were 140 Round Table Knights in all. Cool. So anyways, that was like 4.5 pages of notes, and that was the entire rundown of the chapter of Morte Arthur. If you want me to do the other chapters, 100% totally will, but you guys have to be really into it, because this took me a long time, and I'm kind of lazy. So let me know in the comments down below. I hope this helped you, and I hope it helped you pass any quizzes or tests. And I know it's kind of off-brand for the content I normally post on this, but if I had a video like this when I was reading this book, dude, this would have been a piece of cake. Now, I advise you not to just go off my summary. If you can, read the book yourself, but I understand it's boring, it's hard to understand, the names are stupid, the names are dumb, the book is dumb. I hate the book is dumb, and it's stupid, and it's really lame, and boring. But, however, it is an assignment, and you have to do it, so, do your homework, kids, stay in school. Anyways, catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye. 5 head gang. Haha, just kidding, guys, it's a 7 head. Get good.